population.
According to WHO, the World Health Organization, Brazil had reported in March of 2015 of a rash that broke out among its population. Within the next month, there were almost 7,000 cases among the northeastern states of South America. By December of 2015, there were 2,975 cases of microcephaly among newborn infants. A third of these cases were tested positive for women who had extracted the Zika virus. Now, there's still much more that we can learn about this virus, but until groundbreaking discoveries are made, what we know in the present is important for advocating education and public health awareness of this disease. Now, the Zika virus was discovered in the Uganda forest, the Zika forest, in 1947. It was found first in a rhesus monkey, and it was isolated for further experimentation to see the impact of the virus upon the monkey. Within the next couple of years, it actually was transferred over to a human, and that's when the World Health Organization has first documentation of the virus transferred to the human. Now, the appearance of the Zika virus is associated with climate change within equatorial countries. Right here on the map, there's this red line, and these are where the equators are. This is Africa, and this is South America. And this is where the Zika virus originated from. And within these countries, they usually have hot and humid climates, which is where mosquitoes thrive in. These conditions are perfect. And so the vector that is most responsible for this is the genus mosquito that come from the 80s. They actually are known to survive harsher conditions, which makes it more feasible for the virus to spread. Now, NBC News sat down with the NRAC, or NCARA, which is the National Center of Atmospheric Research, and this team was actually able to predict the spread of the virus, and this map shows it. It shows that they predict it's going to spread up the eastern border of the United States within the next upcoming months. Because of the hot and humid conditions that New York has, it makes it more feasible for the virus to spread up to New York. And they actually rated New York as a moderate risk of having this disease impact us within the next couple of months. Now, it's important to know what actually happens, what this virus does. And according to the CDC, not most people infected with the Zika virus won't even know that they have the disease because they won't have the symptoms. If there are any indications of the symptoms, the most common symptoms are fever, joint pain, and rash. And the good thing about this for adults is if you get the virus, it's basically the flu. But for those who are in the womb, it can be very detrimental. Microcephaly has drastically increased in South America, and the cases have just kept on rising because of this virus. And what microcephaly is, it's a birth defect. And when the baby is in the womb, its head is not able to fully develop its skull. So you can see that this is the size of a baby with microcephaly, and this is the size of an average baby. And what happens is, the smaller the skull, the more that affects the brain. It malforms the brain. And it malforms their brain. It causes significant impairment on their cognitive abilities and as well as their physical abilities, just everyday motor functions that we do every day. Getting microcephaly causes a hard time for the kid, and it will not be able to live a normal life. Now, Fox News was able to sit down with the World Health Organization, and he was actually an official, and he stated that microcephaly occurs on average about 1 in every 5,000 births. But scientists analyzing the outbreaks of the Zika virus in French Polynesia and the northeast Brazil have estimated that now the incidents have risen to 1 in every 100 births after the virus has peaked. Now, to take precautions in preventing this from happening, these terrible birth defects, it's important to protect ourselves. And New York Times editor was able to sit down with Dr. Bassett. He has a degree in immunology, a PhD, and he wanted to share ways that we can protect ourselves adequately. And he wanted to stress to the public that the mosquito that spreads this virus are not only nighttime feeders, but they are daytime feeders as well. So it's very important to be conscious of protecting yourself if you're traveling or just heading outside if you are in an area of high transmission. Now, he said altogether that he wants us, or we should stay, in air-conditioned rooms with windows that have screens in them. But if you're on vacation or if it's really nice out, you're not going to want to stay inside. So he further recommended that you use scent-free products because sun attracts them, or use bug repellent, obviously, and to wear lighter colored clothes because darker colored clothes actually attract mosquitoes. Now, even if you are a male, it is very important to practice these precautions because it can be detrimental for the people who suffer the consequences of this virus. Now, if it does spread to New York, this speech will prepare you for what you need to be prepared for and combat when the virus does come up here. Thank you.